Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to switch over here to Photoshop. We're going to show you how you can do some basic edits in Photoshop. Change out the background on the HDR image that we've been working on, which is the flower. So let's get to the video. Alright guys, so we're back over into Photoshop and we're on layer 1. As you can see, layer 1 down here in the bottom right hand corner is image. We're going to hit Command J. That's just going to duplicate the layer. That's something I always like to do. That way if you need to go all the way to the back, if you mess something up, you've already got a good start. We're going to come over here to the fourth button down, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is also your W button. If you can see, it's going to be quick selection. Up here at the top right, select subject. Real quickly, look how nicely it's already selected out our subject. If you look down here, there's a little bit of the flowers that isn't selected. I don't really care. We could refine that by going over to select and mask and hitting the refine tool. But again, to me, this little part down here in the lower left doesn't add or distract from the picture, so I don't really care. So we're going to hit OK. And now we've got that selected. Over here in the bottom right, there's a little camera. We're going to hit that button. It's selected our mask for us. So what we want to do, I don't like these wrinkles down here in the bottom. We're going to replace that with regular gray. So click back down on the bottom layer. You can see here we're at the bottom layer. Click this plus button. It's going to give us a new layer. We're going to go over here to the G button, which is your gradient tool. If you click and hold that down, you can get to the paint bucket. We're going to come over here and select this gray in the grayscale, which is 50% gray, and then we're going to pour it on. And look how we've replaced that ugly background, which is this wrinkled background. Now we've got a 50% gray. So one of the fun things that we can do from here is we can go down here. If we want to draw more of a dramatic attention to the flower, we can darken the edges almost like a vignette by using our levels tool. So over here in the layers palette down at the bottom right, you can see where my cursor is. We're going to hit this little circle. We're going to go to levels, and then you can see we've got our levels here. We want to go back over to our paint bucket, grab the gradient tool, which by clicking this button here and holding shift until we hit the gradient tool, we're going to drag this across. If you see this, you're going to be making an angled gradient. If you hold down your shift key, it's going to be straight. Now what we want to do is we want to hit Command I. That way we're affecting the background and not the image. We're going to slide this over and darken that down just a little bit. We're going to do this 4 times. We're going to go all the way around. So we're going to hit the levels again. We're going to come down here holding our shift key. We're going to hit Command I. We're going to run over here and bring the levels down on that to kind of darken it up. Same thing. We've done this in Adobe Raw, but you could do the same thing over here in Photoshop and just kind of darken it down a little bit. And then again, lastly, we're going to do the very bottom, levels, holding the shift key down. That way you're drawing a straight gradient, hit Command I, and that way we're affecting the background and not the flower. And then that draws a lot more dramatic look. You could also, just for fun, we could do one more levels. I'm going to show you something else. We're still in the gradient tool. Go up here to the top. See this little circle? Right now we're on this one. We can hit this, and from this, draw outward. Same deal, we're going to hit Command I. That way we're affecting the background and not our flower. And oh my goodness, look what happened. We affected the flower. So while we're on this layer, click that, hit Command I. And now look at this gradient that we've done. Obviously that's way too bad. Another thing you can do while you're over here in the levels, come up here to the opacity. Let's bring that down to about maybe 10% or 15 or 20, because that's too much. I don't know, 23 looks about right. But there you go, guys. That's a quick way that you can go in and you can replace your wrinkledy background with something different. And you may be asking yourself, why would you even want to do that? Because you could come in here and you could actually change the color. So let's say we wanted to change the color to something different. Let's pick out this yellow. It might be complementary. Go back over here to your gradient tool. We're going to hit the paint bucket, because we just added this new layer by hitting the plus button down here in the bottom right. That's layer 2. Fill that in and watch what we can do here. We can grab this same mask that we've used down here by using the option tool, bring it up to the top, and then it's going to copy it. But you see what happened? It copied it the wrong direction, so hit Command I, and now we've got a gradient that is overpowering everything. So let's change let's go to maybe overlay, soft light, and there again, guys, that's where one of the fun things is when you're using your different opacities and when you're using the different blending modes, you can change this and just really change up the image. Let's say we wanted to try a blue. So let's go over here to the bottom layer and hit a new layer. We're going to do the same thing, go back over to our paint bucket, which is G. Let's go over here, pick out blue, let's paint that. We can, again, grab this same layer mask down here, holding down the option key, drag it up, and now look, you've got a blue. But see how it's not affected by anything? Let's change the blending mode to overlay or soft light. And you can see, if you come in here and you can play with all these different blending modes, that actually looks pretty cool. I like that right there. That's a linear burn. So you've got a blue on top of a yellow, and in my mind, that looks pretty sweet, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. We're going to save this image right here. And again, that's just one of the fun things about Photoshop. You don't have to spend a great deal of time, but the more time that you do stuff like this and you experiment, play with the different blending modes, play with your mask, you're going to come out a lot better and just have a lot more fun. So again, we appreciate your likes, comments, and subscribes. And the one thing that I want you to encourage each and every one of you to do is, let's go shoot some stuff. Come on in, kid. You're not interrupting the video at all. That's my lovely wife. If I haven't introduced you to my wife, come here and say hi.
No way.
Hi, y'all. Just wave your hand in front of the camera. Well, we can't see you. That's my lovely wife. She's coming in here. She's making me dinner tonight, guys, because I'm hungry and I've been working in the shop all day. And,
me too.
And she knows I'm hungry, so she's coming to feed me.
Well, I'm hungry too, so it works out. She's
hungry as well. And again, we appreciate your likes, comments, and subscribes. Let's go shoot some stuff. Real quickly, guys, I want to cover one thing, and this is going to be at the end of the video, obviously, but we're going to go back over here to Photoshop, and I want to show you something real quick. And I had somebody ask me the question, and I actually posted a video on Tuesday, a tip for Tuesday video, because he basically said there's no way to increase the resolution of an image by shooting in HDR. Number one, if you'll come down here in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see this is an image straight out of the camera. It's 22.8 megapixels or megabytes, whatever, it doesn't matter. This one here that we've been working on is 45.2 million megabytes or whatever. It doesn't matter, megabytes or whatever. I'm just telling you, this image right here doesn't have near the detail that this image does. So there's no way you can say that the image resolution along with the dynamic range has increased by shooting in HDR. With that said, guys, HDR ain't going to work in every situation. It'll work with still life. It'll work with a lot of things. And if you're shooting with the Rebel XT and you've got a low resolution camera to begin with, because that's the way it was made 20 some odd years ago when they brought this camera out in 2006 or whatever the year it was, you can increase that and build a bigger print just by shooting in HDR on still life and a lot of things, maybe even landscape. Probably I would even go as far as say you could do portrait and shoot HDR in portrait, increase your resolution, build a bigger print with a lesser camera, and save yourself money, because Photoshop and Lightroom only cost you $10 a month. Again, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Please feel free to comment below and let us know what you think. Appreciate your likes, comments, and subscribe. As always, let's go shoot some stuff. Good boy. You good boy. You're a good boy. She said, Daddy, go throw my ball. Go throw my ball, Daddy.